Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukatali.
And a very good morning to you. This is Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining us this morning on the set is that eminent legal personality, Mr. Hemanta Surya, former ambassador and many other things too. Very good morning to you, Mr.
Morning, Faraz. I must warn you, you have been always calling me an eminent legal personality.
Are you not?
And you know what happens, it might amount to canvassing,
yes,
or soliciting or touting,
for business.
For business.
God
so I may
forbid.
be reported to the Supreme Court for having used you as my
Tell these people that it's a journalistic flourish. And politicians are also apt to do that. After all, they describe certain chap as the best army commander in the world, and then promptly, not long thereafter, incarcerated him.
Yeah.
So, there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But I have a point to ask you, Hemanta. Now then, we noticed several days ago that the Attorney General had written to the Secretary General of the Parliament in connection with this matter. And the letter is dated the 7th of February, and he's writing in the past tense, and he says that, in that letter, he says that he's directed the CID to treat, the governor of the central bank had made a complaint to the police, and that they could treat that as the first complaint, and then that the investigations should commence. So it was in the past tense. So one presumes that by the time the 7th of February came along, that investigation by the CID had already started.
I believe so. I believe so because I believe it's a very good, positive step on the part of the Attorney General to write and inform the people, or inform that a complaint has been made.
Yes.
The difficulty all these years was there is no official complainant and complaint,
right,
which is essential in a criminal prosecution, criminal investigation.
A prerequisite. The Attorney General says
so therefore, now the Attorney General has treated the statement made by the Governor of the Central Bank,
Dr.
Kumaraswamy, as a complaint. Now it is, the ball is in the CID. If they wanted to investigate without any political interference,
yes,
then they should immediately record the statement of Arjuna Mahendran and others who are involved.
Indeed.
And I saw in the papers that Mr. Arjuna Mahendran was summoned before the Presidential Commission, and the CID there recorded a statement from Mr. Arjuna Mahendran. I believe there is no bar or no restriction on the part of the CID to treat that also as a statement,
as part of their
investigation, and proceed.
Right.
Now, what is important in this country? Why this country has come to this state? They always talk about Jahaparanya, and they talk about good governance. But the problem here, Faraz, is that we don't have an independent police force where they would act independently of any political pressure. Now, say in the US, the FBI is quite independent. They are now investigating into a scandal where they say Trump was supported by Putin, and they're investigating into that. And the Minister of Justice, the Justice Ministry is completely independent, and they are people. This is the country where a former president was impeached. But here, when the file goes to CID, all depends on the instruction given by the politician. Now this is why...
So this is the culture where we need to get rid of.
That is the thing. So this, I believe, if there is a constitution amendment, what is very, very necessary, we should make the police. The police must, of course, come under a minister, but they must be completely independent. You know, the police commission, I don't think has served that purpose. Police commission, it has given all the powers, most of the powers, back to the IG. And the IG is acting on his own. So there are serious allegations against the police department, against the IG, against various heads of various places. So we do not know how they react. In fact, there is a very famous story that all the information relating to Rajapaksas, all the complaints related to them is given to the lawyers by a certain politician. So the politicians have the papers given to the lawyers, and the lawyers do know what the case that they have to face. So this is a very, very sad situation. So I don't know how to rectify this. Right throughout, from the very inception, after the Britishers, after the new constitution came, everything came under politicians. There is no independence given to any institution, which is, I believe, one of the main problems that we face, and the Constitutional Council and the draft of the Constitution should ensure that these departments become independent, but that doesn't mean that there can be a police state, but there must be some checks and balances.
So there's a good point about being independent. We find that the Auditor General has an ongoing battle to remain independent. And then when he does act independently, he is the subject of all sorts of baseless, wild accusations that try to cast aspersions on his professional work. So how is it a fine balance? Being independent and...
I believe the politicians dislike, above independent institutions.
So back to Mr. Mahendran and the investigation by the CID. What you're saying is, I find it quite irregular or not. It doesn't demonstrate a commitment to try and finish this investigation, because the CID, according to the Attorney General, had instructions before the 7th of February. Now, they appear to have waited until Mr. Mahendran was summoned by the Commission of Inquiry. And then they sort of get a statement over 2 or 3 days, a statement from Mr. Mahendran. Why, ordinarily, if the police have a complaint, they'll summon the people and they'll have an inquiry.
Don't blame the CID. Don't blame the police.
Well, who do we blame?
You blame the politicians. You blame the politicians. If you ask why the CID has not recorded the statement of Mahendran long before, ask the politician who is in charge of the CID. Ask Mr. Sagar Ratnayake, why? Now, you know what happened in that famous case where I appeared, where a man was thrown overboard from the building. And everything was done by the former IG, the present IG, and the police to prevent any further suspects being arrested. So only one person was arrested, and he got bail within a matter of 3 months. And the investigation has come to a complete stop. That is because I know that they have been told to go slow, not to act. They write letters which can be produced in court.
Wasn't somebody died there?
That's right. The man
so
was killed.
The fact that a man was killed is sort of almost irrelevant.
A man was killed, and the police were accused of. So many police officers were accused of, but none of them were arrested and produced. And the reason is that I know the reason is the politics. The politicians do not want the police officers involved in that murder to be arrested and produced in court. So where is the justice? That is the reason why I say that whatever color you possess, whatever slogan that you preach, you ultimately want to ensure that you are free of any investigation so that you can rob the country.
That's a very serious statement.
I'm saying that. Tell me. If you all those. We want to change the regime. We wanted. Except except the president of this country. Tell me how many other politicians do not. Almost all the politicians. Whatever country, there are serious allegations against them. Only the president has the least amount of allegations against him. So why? And the president had become almost powerless because he's beholden to the UNP. So it's an extremely sad state of affairs. But one thing, there was one good thing I must also say. Also thank Mr. Pujis Jayasundara. Recently there was a death in a police station close to Colombo. Cell death. They are normally, for the last so many years, moment of cell death occurs, all the police officers get together and try to defend the man who killed the prisoner when they were in their custody. This time, for the first time, 6 or 7 police officers arrested. Now, this is quite different to what happened during Mahinda Rajapaksa's time. Mahinda Rajapaksa's time, people were taken to custody. They were killed not in this fashion. They were taken and shot, and they say that a statement is made that he took us to a place where weapons were hidden, and he suddenly took a gun and shot at me. And this kind of callous, absolute murder is being sanctioned by the state, and unfortunately, even the magistrates or the acting magistrates subscribed to the false evidence given before them and say that it's a justifiable, that accidental death, rules of murder.
Mr. Markulsi, you are a lawyer and you are clearly saying this with responsibility.
Absolutely true. How many people were killed during the Rajapaksa's time? They were taken in for, there was one person was taken to near the Nilwala, the river, Mathura. Yeah. And they said that he jumped into the river and he died. Absolute falsehood. How many people were killed? And the IG, then IG, tolerated this. But now, today...
Who was the then IG?
The former IG.
Right.
Now, the present IG, I'm very happy to say, at least in this case, where certain person taken to custody, questioned him, he died, 7 or 6 persons were arrested and produced before the magistrate murder.
Yeah.
This is the first time this happened after a long time. So you must compliment. But on the other hand, if that police officer was very powerful or is the right hand boy of the IG or somebody else, he will protect her. This is what happened in Abedipitia.
Who was the blue-eyed boy there then?
They are the ASP. They did everything to protect him. And then other officers, none of them have been arrested.
It's quite frightening.
The case has been called and postponed.
It's quite frightening for members of the public.
Absolutely true, absolutely true. So now at least we know that if a person is taken to custody, is assaulted and something happens, the police are responsible. This happens not only in Sri Lanka, all over Asia. But cell death is a very common phenomenon. Very common. People just...
But doesn't mean that we have to
accept brutality, torture is accepted in these parts of the world.
But it doesn't mean that it's right. It's wrong.
Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. That is why I say absolutely wrong. And people sometimes, when these people are killed, people light very crackers, and they are very happy. And this is the whole problem. We have got this whole culture of violence, whole culture of impunity, and we do not ever accept. The people want swift justice. They want the police to kill the perpetrators and finish it off. This is what the culture that put forward by in the past regime, and we all accepted that. For us, And we did not do anything about it, including me. We did not do anything. We just, except I spoke at the bar a few times, we just accepted that the famous, I mean, if you say now, even that girl say won this murder, you know what happened? No, I mean, they got hold of a man, tortured him, got him to make a confession, was taken to the magistrate recorded the confession, and the trial was to proceed, when suddenly they found the DNA did not match, and then they discharged him. And the publicity given, they gave a detailed description of how this man had raped that beautiful young doll, young girl. But they are absolutely false. So what happened to those, I mean, people who record the false confession? Is there inquiry? Nothing.
They should be charged with trying to pervert the course of justice.
Yeah, they should be charged on the special section.
Yeah.
If you try to perpetrate, force a case of murder, you can be guilty of, you can be sentenced to death. There are three offences. One, conspiracy, the second, murder, then other, making false evidence give false evidence or prepare false evidence to implicate an innocent man with murder. This is what happened in that case. Nothing happened.
So how long? Now we have the parliamentary government. We have they've established the independent commissions. So how long before you see a paradigm shift?
I'm extremely sorry to say, the independent commissions, especially the police commission. Now there's a friend of mine, I believe will do something, but the former commissioner was so utter failure that nothing absurd happened.
Well, why do you say?
No, but some of the powers have been taken back given to the IG. The power that should be vested with the commission. So the commission empowered us. They are only.
Who gives that power away? Who's given the power away?
I think by resolution or by I really do not know. I cannot tell you without exactly how. But the power which should have been vested with the police commission is now with the IG. And and then what happens? What is the necessity of having independent commissions? All this is a facade. All these are rhetoric where people came.
Who's behind the facade?
But the politicians, they came and told people various things, independent commissions, various things. What happened? Now, do you know the Constitutional Council not frame their rules? Within 6 months of the within 6 months they must frame the rules and they must adhere to the rules.
Right.
Up to now, there are former Attorney General in the Constitutional Council. Up to now, no rules have been framed. So all the appointments actually should challenge them. And if the very serious Supreme Court will be null and void. Take for instance the appointments that have been made. Except they must have certain criteria, and that is there in the Act. No one has looked into that. No one has prepared the rules. So that, I mean, it's ad hoc decision. When they decide, there was no reason behind.
Yes, you obviously speak with the passionate concern. And as a lawyer, and a senior one at that, and with your other expertise, what have you done about it? What can you do?
Yeah, absolutely. This is something I must say, except occasionally I have been invited by people like you, and I express my views. Then
You're here more than occasionally. You're here regularly.
Then also I speak out at the Bar Council, but very little have been done. And we are all guilty. I'm not saying that.
Are you sorry?
I'm extremely sorry of the fact that
What will you do?
Now, for instance, now recently, I was the only person in the private bar who expressly opposed the Appointment of Justice, Appointed High Court Judge Kannan. He's an eminently qualified person. The procedure was wrong. The Bar Council, the members of the Bar, everyone was silent. But then I'm a loner. Sometimes they might think that there's something agenda behind this. Why I'm doing this? They try to find out. When Shiran Gurunath, the telephone was tapped, I exposed it. They said that I did that because I appeared for Dumindu. I never appeared for Dumindu before him. So, I mean, it's very unfortunate. Our civic consciousness, our duties by the people, especially the legal fraternity, we have failed miserably. I must say, I'm also part of that whole.
You said you were sorry, but what can you do? What will you do?
Yeah, I think there must be some movement,
Can't you be the catalyst? Can you not, why can't you lead that movement?
Yeah, Mr. Faraz.
Yes.
I have led movements whenever the Secretary of Bar Association, with the Bar Association. Now, I think I'm a bit too, I have a bit too old for that.
I was about to ask if you're saying that you're old.
Yeah, a bit too old. I think people like you, who has this, and this organization, they must, when there's something wrong, we must all get together people and then try to portray and educate the public.
But we are journalists.
No, not like demonstrating. Now see, now what happened to the demonstration? Now every day we have demonstration. Why the government immediately bring even the emergency regulations and prevent these demonstrations? I mean, every day there is a problem of setting. Now every day there are demonstrations. Are they trying to bring down the government? What is the government doing? I'm very happy that yes, 2 days ago or yesterday that they used tear gas and baton charge them. This is a politically motivated movement. There's nothing to do with set him, in order to destabilize the government.
What I'm saying is, part and parcel of this package called democracy.
Yeah.
This package called democracy, part and parcel of that is the right to be able to protest and to have an alternative viewpoint.
But so every country in the world, especially now say in Europe, where they try to foist democracy on us now, there, if you want, Italy, I was ambassador. I know if somebody wants to demonstrate, you must get prior permission from the police. And the police will demarcate the area, and they will say no. There were some LGBT sympathizers who want to demonstrate in front of the embassy, right? Then they came to. I said no way, not within a mile radius, right? And then they acceded the request, and they were taken to some park where the dogs it's called the dog park. Yeah. And they were demonstrating in the dog park. No one saw that.
That's exactly the point.
Here you must bring legislation. Right to demonstrate is there, but there is also the public has the right to use the highways, use the roads.
It's a difficult balance, isn't it?
No, it's not difficult balance. Because here we have become powerless. Why
couldn't you then argue that if you demarcate another area out of the way of pedestrian and traffic and so on, that this will be in some godforsaken place where these people will shout, they're not making any difference.
They come shout and go home. I mean, just because they shout,
but the whole exercise of protesting is not to exercise your lungs and to get hoarse, but it is to be heard and to be seen.
Yeah, you can be heard, you can be seen.
Where? How?
Why? All the television cameras are there for them.
We may not want to do that.
So then if they don't do that, the important thing is there must be a fine line for us. Your right to demonstrate and my right to go to work in time. My right not to be obstructed. My right to use the motorways or use the roads.
Couldn't you argue another way, then another angle, that this is what the people wanted?
No, this is what they wanted. Precisely. This is what the people wanted, but unfortunately, like the freedom that is sometimes given to the journalists to when moment you remove the criminal defamation, they started attacking people without any foundation, right? So therefore, similarly, if you give the right to demonstrate, there's the right was there, but then you must be also in a position to bring legislation to prevent these people becoming a real nuisance, and it causing so much of disruption in the public life. So I mean, now in Italy they do that, in Germany they are doing that. Why can't they do that in Colombo? Why won't? I mean, this is something that will help even the future regime. Now, for instance, when Bandaranaike brought the emergency regulations, UMP protested. But the UMP is the party which used the emergency regulation more than the SLP.
But Mr. Wanakuse, when Mahinda Rajapaksa was in London and staying at the Dorchester, and the LTT sympathisers decided to protest against him, the Metropolitan Police, they closed off one lane, the bus lane of Park Lane. And the protesters were there. There were barriers. The traffic flow was affected, obviously, because they closed the bus lane, but they had another two lanes open. Why can't we have that kind of planning here?
That is what I'm trying to say. No one has the right, no one should protest unless they get permission from the police. Right? The police must give them permission. So police can't ad hoc refuse them. But then they must demarcate where they protest. Then there will be no protest at all. There will be, the show of strength. People coming from all over, walking 1 or 2 miles. They'll be confined to some place. Why should the president's house? Why should the prime minister's house? So therefore, the democracy also has limitations. If you want, democracy has to be developed or has to be modified according to the needs of the hour, needs of the day, needs of the nation, our culture. All that also must. Democracy means no way should affect the democratic rights of the other people who are not protesting.
So democracy must also be pliable.
Well, that's very true.
On that note, that's it. It's been an entertaining half an hour, Mr. Wanakuse. Thank you very much. We hope that you'll lead the campaign to bring some sense and balance to this thing that appears to be going out of hand when people protest. And think of the amount of water that's being used, in these drought days. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. Do pop by whenever you are in the area. That's it from Newsline. Thank you very much. We'll see you same time, same place, one more time. Take care and God bless.